Okay, theoretically, we are live. Theoretically. The theory is a fickle thing, my friends. Very fickle. Fickle, fucked, and find and found. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying most of the time. All I know is that I need to put this on, like, social media and shit, because, yeah, this is, otherwise there's gonna be a big problem. Big problems, my friend. Very big problems. Very big. Bigger than you can possibly imagine, Spider-Man. I better not do that voice the entire stream, otherwise I'm gonna blow out my... Last time I did a stream, my voice was sore for a few days, because I went really ham. Really, really ham. Now, and well, let me tell you, ham isn't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Ham costs money. I don't know how much ham costs, though. It probably isn't too expensive. But probably more expensive than you would want it to be. Let's get chat up. See what people are saying. So, I'm going to set up. Let's see. So, we are going to be recording videos live today. I was going to do this. I wanted to do this way, way earlier, right? I did have some scripts prepared. But then I prepared some more scripts, and then some more scripts, and before I knew it, you know, I'd actually written a bunch of scripts. And, the thing is, right, when you're, I don't know if I should be saving this, because I think people are still need to pour in a little bit, but where's the Chatteroony here? Cool. You know, I probably should have announced this stream before starting, but that's okay, like, we'll let the people... See, I see the little graph thing going up. There's at least 4 people watching. 5 people now. My god, and a single like! Oh, the generosity. You know, I will take what I can get at this point. One of my cats is trying to demand attention. You have gotten more than enough attention the last how many ever days, my friend. You have gotten so much attention. Don't give me that shit. I'm trying to pay your medical bills, my friend. He's got an appointment tomorrow. Gonna have to get his teeth cleaned, and he also needs to get his bloods done because he's got kidney disease. So we need to keep an eye on that. So, oh, a comment, a chatteroony, a chatmeister. Sir Cunningham. Hey, Meme, hope you're doing well. Did you hear what happened to Charlie Kirk? Fucking depressing. Yeah, I heard the Charlie Kirk thing, and I think that was one of those things where it's like, let's see, it's 9/11, and Charlie Kirk just got shot to death. Is this the day to do this stream? And then I realized, you know, Meme, you're gonna find an excuse to not do this stream every day. You're just not... I don't think there's gonna be a day in the near future you're gonna feel 100%. So maybe you should just do it. Yeah. It's fair if you don't want to talk about it. Yeah, here's the thing, I don't really have much to contribute to that conversation outside of I condemn political violence, and, yeah, there's probably deeper things that can be discussed surrounding that. Just I would want to prepare, like, if I was gonna discuss something like that, I wouldn't just want to do it all mamby-pam. Not really my area of, I mean, I'm not opposed to talking about politics eventually. It's just right now, I'm not, anytime I come close to thinking about, maybe now is the time to break that barrier, I then realize, no, I'd be dealing with firestorms every fucking day for the rest of my life. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's get the channel into a bit more of a better position before we even think about going there. But yeah, look, fucked up, condemned, completely, yeah. That's not all, and that's also not an endorsement of anything he said. I think I also need to cover that base. I condemn the general act of violence, but that's not an endorsement of anything he said. Have we covered like have I covered my buttocks thoroughly enough yet to avoid? Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's a hint, by the way, of what this stream's about. Boo 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 boo. Because okay, here's the thing. I did come up with a new script, a brand new script. Not to say I'm probably going to record the other ones as well. It's just I came up with a script that I think is going to be best for our purposes. Because I needed a script that was going to be rewatchable, that was going to be that was going to retain viewer attention, right? That's very important. Yeah, and that was just generally going to get a lot of eyeballs, and it needed to be on something quite popular, and it needed to be something I could put like an attention-grabbing title on. So what I've come up with, so initially, and those other ideas, I think they were good, but they weren't quite the, you know, Star Trek's a little bit niche. I mean, it's not super duper niche. It's one of the most successful science fiction programs of all time. But it's also, it's also, you know, it's not going to be the thing that gets me hundreds and hundreds of watch hours as YouTube is ransoming me for. Yeah. Okay. So what I've ended up going with is something called Nitpicking Jurassic Park to Save My Channel. Here's the thing. This video script started as kind of like, oh, well, you know, there's a lot of like little mistakes in the in Jurassic Park on like a very technical level. Like not necessarily like a screenwriting sort of level, but more like there's a lot of goofs. Because in the production side, you know, there's like crew members in the shot, you know, there's little continuity errors here and there that kind of just add up. And it's really funny to hyperfixate on that. So I decided, you know what, that's really easy. And that's actually the easiest thing to research because people have already compiled all of this stuff into, you know, lists and things that I can check out. So I thought, okay, I can do that. And then I went down the rabbit hole, and then as tends to generally happen with me when I try to do literally anything, it just turned. It went insane. Okay, the script went insane, and I kind of love it. Like I kind of really love the script I've written. I kind of really love it. I didn't expect to love it this much, and I kind of need it. It's the best kind of video in that it's the kind of video that I've written, and it's like I want that video to exist. And sometimes you write a video script and you don't get that sort of like, well, you get that feeling of like, well, this could be really interesting, but you don't feel that like, ooh, this is going to be the kind of thing that even I would want to rewatch if I did it enough times. So that's kind of the whole thing here. Before we do the recording proper, I just got to do some sound checks in my recording software here. And this is the first time I've ever done like a recording. I've ever done recording for a video live in this way. In the sense that live in this way. In the sense that I'm recording a video while I'm also live streaming. And the reason I'm choosing to do it this way is basically just because I want to just maximize the number of watch hours possible. And I think it would be fun to interact with you guys. And look, today seems to be a very depressing day and also just kind of a very controversial day for a lot of people, so maybe this will be a good escape. I don't know. All I know, though, is, what do I put it? What was I saying? What was my brain trying to say? All I know is my brain... Look, the Vyvanse is still kicking in, okay? And the Vyvanse is probably too low. I need to pump it up. I need to probably get the propranolol lower, or just straight up go off it, because I don't think it's doing the thing it's meant to be doing. Or at least it's addressing one thing, and then it's making a whole bunch of other stuff worse, which I tried to communicate to my doctor, to my now former doctor about. And he was just like, let's just pump up the dose of the propranolol, and just see if that works. You can go up to 120 milligrams safely. And it's just like, doctor, every time you do it, my penis stops working a little bit more, and I just feel gross. Okay, I just feel gross. Please stop pumping up my propranolol. Lol, 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 lol. So that's what that is. I don't really have like a larger thing I'm trying to communicate here. Or I probably did have it and then I lost it. I lost everything to the disease. It's really quite tragic if you think about it. Maybe I should put Jurassic Park in the title, actually. Jurassic Park. Because I figured, like, I just realized that I probably should make sure that Jurassic Park is, like, it should also be in the tag, shouldn't it? Jurassic Park. Look, we are really, you know, this is quite a mom and pop operation we got going here. So, you will forgive the amateur little setup we got going. Yeah, I didn't really set this up properly, namely because I was just like, you know what, meme, if you don't do this properly, if you're so obsessed with doing this like super properly, you're not going to get it done, and your time's going to elapse. You've not got a lot of time left, buddy. And this is kind of the shitty thing about this whole situation is, I think, yeah. Hey, meme, glad to see you streaming. Hey, Desmond, hello, my friend. Yes, we're streaming to keep the channel monetized. We're keeping the channel monetized, and we're going to be recording a video today to keep the channel monetized, hopefully, or at least pump up our watch hours so that even if the channel gets demonetized, we can get remonetized pretty quick after that. Which unfortunately is meaning I can't, which is unfortunately taking the energy away from what I would be spending on like the EFAP project that I've been working on the last 2 years now. But you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Just how the cookie crumbles. And it crumbles well. It crumbles right in my hand. It turns into little dust particles. That's probably not a very well-made cookie if it's crumbling like that, to be honest. Like, I like a nice, soft cookie. I like a cookie that's basically brownie in consistency. And I once made a friend a batch of cookies in that consistency. And she was like, yes, meme, this is the exact consistency a cookie should be. It is basically a brownie. And that is exactly how it should be. And I was like, yes! Yes, that is how it should be. That is how it should be. And then I moved to this apartment with a shitty kitchen and I don't bake anymore. So I'm very sad about that. But you know what? Actually, no, I baked vegan brownies for someone once. That was it. And it was so much of a pain to clean up afterwards because that kitchen is just shite. Anyway, I've got to do sound tests, don't I? So let's see. Jurassic Park video. I think that's all she wrote on that. I'm not gonna be too anal about the audio quality here, just because, again, I don't have time to be anal. I don't have time to be anal. How are you doing, Desmond, by the way? I feel rude for not asking how you're doing. And Sir Cunningham, I also feel rude for not asking you. I hope all of my viewers are doing well today. and are doing well tomorrow, and are doing well the next day, because you deserve good things, buddy. You deserve to be engaged with your audience. I've never seen this button before. Start a Q&A, Paul. Start a Q&A. Answer viewer questions live. So you can actually start a Q&A. Oh, okay. So this is just like a new panel. I've never look. I haven't. I'm behind on like all the streaming shit. Okay. Okay. That should be enough audio to determine if the audio quality is good enough. Let's have a listen. Why is my audio here and not here? Okay, let us switch to this. Ooh, I now have fire in my ears. Cool. Doing good. But yeah, cookies are messy to make. They are messy. Messy is also the name of a puma. I'm not gonna be too anal about the audio quality here. Just because, again, I don't have time to be anal. I don't have time to be anal. How are you doing, Desmond, by the way? I feel rude for not asking how you're doing. And Sir Cunningham, I also feel rude for not asking you. I hope all of my viewers are doing well today. And are doing well tomorrow. And are doing well the next day. Because you deserve good things, buddy. You deserve to... Okay. I think that's probably good. So that is not the video. So that was, I don't know if you guys could hear that. But, yeah. That was something, wasn't it, chat? And no problem, Desmond. I got your back, buddy. I got your back. Booty, baby got back. Sir Mix-a-Lot. As they say. Sir Mix-a-Lot. You know, he made a follow-up to Baby Got Back when that got popular, but the follow-up to Baby Got Back, which was Put 'Em on the Glass, which was all about the tits, was not as popular. I think because Baby Got Back had like a more universally appealing message, while Put 'Em on the Glass was very clearly a cash grab. But you know, maybe we're gonna do a reassessment of Put 'Em on the Glass. Maybe there's something deeper to that song that we, as a species, didn't quite comprehend, you know? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we gotta record this fucking video, don't we? This fucking video. And I have got this fucking... which thing? Okay. So I'm just gonna turn the fire sounds off. Not because I don't like the fire sounds. I actually love the fire sounds. I love the fire sounds. I love the crackle. That's why I chose to put them there, because I love the atmosphere. You know, I love it. Oh, fuck. Why am I was recording this, and I'm like, I don't even know if I have the space to record an entire stream right now. No, I only want to stream. It's okay, YouTube. It's okay, OBS. You're fine. Oh, man. That was a burp. Okay, so. I've got a script here. I've got this script called Nitpicking Jurassic Park to Save My Channel. And here's the thing. I have proofread it a little bit. I'm trying to decide, like, do I want to record it first? Or do I want to, like... You know what? You know what? This is an You know what? Fuck it. This is an experimental stream. This is an experimental stream for experimental creams. This might actually give you... So I might actually give you some insight into my into my process here when I'm writing, because I was thinking, like, should I just start recording right now? And while that would be a valid thing to do, I want to just check. I want to check. I want to just check over the thing, right? The thing. I want to check it over for like typos and things like that. But problem is, I've been having some eyeball problems. Nothing too extreme, but my eyes get really tired. And because and it's for a couple of reasons. One of them is I think I've got something called, and I only discovered this a couple of weeks ago because I was just like, why do my eyes feel like absolute fucking dog turd? And so I went to, as every modern day man does, I went to ChatGPT and I went, I looked in my eye and it looked like my eye was deflating into like a dodgeball. Why is my eye deflating into a dodgeball? And like the good little AI slave it is, it told me, hey, have you considered that you might have this thing called conjunctal? What is it even called? Conjunctal. Have you considered that you've got something called conjunctival chalasis? And I was like, I've never heard of that before in my life. I go to Google Images, type in conjunctival chalasis, and I'm just like, fuck me, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. That is exactly what I have going on in my eye. Does that require surgery? It could. Fuck. I don't want surgery near my eye. Fuck. And that is how I found out I had conjunctival chalasis. And let me tell you, I didn't learn how to pronounce that on the first try. I did not learn how to pronounce that on the first try, my friend. That was definitely I put that into text to speech in order to figure out how to say it. But speaking of text to speech, I need to proof this script of typos and need to make sure that everything's flowing. Well, actually, that word I can only figure that out by speaking it. But you know what I can do? I can put this script into a little app called 11 Reader, which I also use to read articles to me when I don't feel like reading with my eyeballs, and it'll help me to know if there are any. It'll help me to know if there are any typos in it. So we're going to listen to.
I love Jurassic.
So we're going to listen to 11 Readers' interpretation of my script, which I'll point out was written with 0 AI, just so you know, because people seem to really think that, I can understand why people want to know that 0 AI was put into the writing process, because I do get annoyed when I am watching a video and I hear ChatGPT's speech patterns, default speech patterns. The whole, it's not X, it's Y. Also, you have a massive penis. When I see that shit seeping in, I don't get angry that they use ChatGPT. Let me be clear. I don't get angry that they used it. I get angry that they use the raw output from ChatGPT. Because that means to me, probably they did not properly critically analyze the work that they are then submitting to YouTube. And therefore, the accuracy of what they're putting forward is, unless it's, of course, something that's like fluff and doesn't really need a whole lot of additional research to it, which fair enough. But if it's like a fact-based video that they're using ChatGPT to write the script for, I question it. Because, of course, ChatGPT is probably more correct than the average person, but it can still make really huge blundering mistakes, and it's up to a human eye, at least for now, to determine what those mistakes are. And that's why when I use AI in my work process, I don't use it to write the script. I use it as a proofing technique for my human written script. So for example, I put this into 11 Reader, and we're going to listen to it now. And the great thing about a text-to-speech program like 11 Reader, and they have a bunch of celebrity voices here, so it's going to be Dorothy from fucking I forgot the name of this very classic film. Fuck. My brain's not here, okay? My brain is not here. Judy Garland, Wizard of Oz. Yeah, so we're going to be listening to Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz read my script and see if she stumbles anywhere. And those stumbles are going to be where the typos are. And then I will correct the typo in the script, and it's going to be really good. And also, it's going to be really fucking funny to hear Judy Garland read my script, because you know me, chat. You know me. You know what words I produce, chat. You know what words I produce. So imagine that coming out. Imagine my words coming out of her mouth. That's going to be fun. Anyway, let's take a listen. Let's take a listen and see if this, if I have a see if the script needs any more adjustments, and then I will record it myself.
I love Jurassic Park with the entirety of purple, pulsating pectoral.
And already at the very beginning, first sentence, we have a typo. Very first sentence. Because it's meant to read, I love Jurassic Park with the entirety of my purple pulsating pectoral adjacent organ. But I missed the word my there. So now I've corrected that. And yeah, we're going to continue listening to this.
Adjacent organ. But let's be real, it's got
This is so loud. Why did I turn the volume to maximum? Why am I doing this to my ears? My poor sensitive little audio receptors within my connected by the neuronal pathway to my ear, to my brain. My brain receptor does not like it. This does not like. And hello, Desmond. Something I was taught in university is that using GPT can be fine, but it can hallucinate. So edit your work. You still need the human process. Exactly, Desmond. Desmond has it right. Everybody suck Desmond's dick right now. All of you, line up. Line up. Take it one at a time, unless he's got two dicks. Then you can do it two at a time. Man, that's, imagine if you had two dicks. Oh God, Klingons have two dicks, don't they? They established that in Discovery. We saw the two streams. They took the redundancies too far. But yes, you still need, for now, like eventually AI will be like super duper intelligent and it will give us free blowjobs and do all our taxes and all of that. And what? 1 second. Sharks have two peepees. Excellent! You're a shark! You are a shark, Desmond. So, what was I saying? Oh yes, GPTs. So, until, AI is super duper duper intelligent and they've solved the hallucination problem, which they actually did release a paper a few days ago, kind of highlighting a technique that might, I don't know if it'll eliminate hallucination, but it will at least reduce it considerably. And that is, the problem with a lot of large language models nowadays, at least as they currently exist, is that they don't have the option to say I don't know. They have to give an answer. They can't just say I don't know. So when you are faced with that, paradigm where your prompting is like, okay, you've got to give an answer. The thing just goes, well, I don't know, nipples on sharks. That's your answer. Nipples on sharks. And it says it with such confidence because it has to. But if you give it the option to have uncertainty, that's when the hallucinations go down, because it can go like, oh, well, the user has come up with this thing, is asking me this question. I don't know that off the top of my head, to be honest. I might know it somewhere, but I don't know. I am uncertain about this. And that's where you get more progress. But yeah, don't use and plus, the thing about using the raw outputs of ChatGPT is, if you're someone like me who's hyper autistic and just uses ChatGPT every single day, you develop a sense of you kind of get to know ChatGPT the same way you get to know a person, where you just you get a feel for how it talks, right? You get a feel for all the little ways that it speaks and all the little quirks, like it's not just X, it's Y sort of stuff. And so when you listen to someone reading a script produced by ChatGPT, suddenly your brain goes, wait, I recognize this. That is my good friend ChatGPT. You are masquerading as my good friend ChatGPT. How dare you? How dare you steal from my good friend ChatGPT? Steal his voice? I'm gonna touch your little testicles here, but you can't see the gesture I'm making right now. So it's kind of wasted. But how dare you? And then I get really annoyed, but also it just becomes really obvious. And look, I don't have like the same hang-ups that some people have about AI, and it's not that it's perfectly understandable to have hang-ups about AI. That's not me judging, it's just saying that I don't personally have them. But even I'm just like, I don't want to like watch a video and go, wait a minute, that's not that I recognize how those words are being strung together. Anyway, we have something we need to proofread here, don't we? Oh my god, how many tangents are we going to go through today?
Nothing so abhorrent that they could ever ruin my experience while rewatching, but rather technical problems, noticeable enough to be hilarious once you notice. And
What is wrong with that sentence? My nose. I found out that if you get really congested, you can kind of uncongest yourself by vibrating, by sending the vibrations of your voice up to your nose. So just doing some hums. So doing some nasal hums. Okay, I'm feeling a little less congested now. Ugh, that was terrible. Okay, so but let's be real. It's got problems. Nothing so abhorrent that they could ever ruin my experience while rewatching. That they could ever ruin it on the rewatch. I think that's just a bit of a clunky first sentence. Look, it's the first thing I wrote for it. Okay, the first sentence is always going to be a bit clunky. Always going to be a bit clunky. But let's go over that one manually. But let's be real. It's got problems. Nothing so abhorrent that they could ever ruin my experience while rewatching. They could ever ruin my experience on the rewatch. On the rewatch. On the rewatch, but still technical problems. But hilarious technical But still hilarious technical problems. Hilarious technical problems worth mocking for all they're worth. Worth mock for 10 to 20 minutes in YouTube. Still hilarious, but still hilarious technical But let's be real, it's got problems. Nothing so abhorrent that they could ever ruin my experience on the rewatch, but still hilarious enough. But still hilarious enough to mock on YouTube for all the world to see. That still feels a bit clunk. Why does that feel clunk? I cannot have the... Here's the thing, if you're going to have a clunk sentence, don't have it be the opening sentence. Don't have do not have the opening sentence be a clunk sentence. I know, maybe I can just erase this part. Okay. But let's be real, it's got problems. So many here we go. Here we go. We can cut the fat here. So many problems. So many problems that because I think what I was doing there is I was really scared I was going to piss off a bunch of really diehard Jurassic Park fans. And I needed to make it very clear that I love Jurassic Park. But I feel like that's covered in the opening sentence, isn't it? Right? Where it's like, I love it, and I love it enough to tear it apart for comedy. Maybe I should be saying that instead. And I love it enough to... And I love it so much that I'm willing to tear it to shreds. For that sweet YouTube dollar. But how do I transition into my next paragraph or my next sentence? I format my things weirdly. No. Oh, god damn it. The word sacred cow has been ruined, so I don't want to use that one. Oh, god damn it. Okay, I like this sentence fine. But the film has got many hilarious technical. Oh, I know. And while the film is relatively rock solid from a writing, directing, and performance point of view, it's also got many technical goofs. It's also got many technical goofs. You know, sometimes a word doesn't sound right because you haven't found the right way to say it. So I don't like saying, I didn't like the term goof when I was saying it as goof, but when I say it as goof, suddenly it's hilarious. So I'm going to. Why is there cats? I've got too many cats. So many cats. Too many cats. They want to just get into everything and everyone, including my heart. Let's see. Sharks have 2 peepees. Sharks have 2 peepees. Do 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 do. The sharks have 2 peepees. They have 2 peepees. You know, the lower viewership on this stream is actually not too bad, because I was kind of afraid that I was going to spoil everything for everyone. But if only like 5 people are watching, that's actually not too bad. I guess because this is just kind of a boring stream of me going like, oh, I don't know if I like this sentence very much. But yeah, we're just streaming for the sake of streaming right now. Well, not streaming for the sake of streaming, but streaming for a very specific purpose that's hopefully going to result in good things for us long term. I might retitle this to like behind the scenes stream or something. Behind the memes. That could be fun. But it's also got many technical goofs that are so that have been so thoroughly documented that the Jurassic Park wiki literally has an entire page dedicated to their diligent documentation, scene by scene. And because YouTube kinda sorta gave me notice recently, I decided it was time to break. I've decided it's time to break glass. I've decided it is time to break the emergency glass and nitpick Jurassic Park. You know what? This line can be funny. I just got to capitalize all the letters. And you're gonna fucking watch, you piece of. And you're gonna fucking watch. 2 or 3 times if necessary. 2 or 3 times if necessary, mister. Don't think I won't strap you to that chair and staple your eyes open. We're in crisis mode, young man. Don't make me get out my belt. Don't make me get my belt. Don't make me get my belt, mister. Okay, so because I've already made a bunch of changes within the first 2 sentences, I'm going to copy and paste this all again. And we're going to create a new thing that I'm going to listen to. The only annoying thing about 11 Reader is that if you want to make changes to the thing you just created, you can't just you can't just edit the thing. You have to create an entirely new thing, and I think it's just to do with how the
I
voices.
love Jurassic Park with the entirety of my purple, pulsating pectoral adjacent organ. And while the film relatively rock solid from a writing,
Okay, already found another fucking hell. Already found another typo. Doom, boom, 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 boom. And while the film is relatively rock solid, while the film is relatively rock solid, there we go.
directing and performance.
You know what? I don't need the word relatively. It's just rock solid. It's just rock solid. And while the film is rock solid, there we go.
Point of view, it's also got many technical goof that have been so.
Okay, there we go. We need a. I wrote the word goof, and I should have written the word goofs. Goofs. Yuck, 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 yuck. There we go. So, and by the way, this is another thing that annoys me when people. I guess this is going to be half this stream is just going to be meme talking about his pet peeves with people using AI in content creation, because again, I'm using AI right now for content creation, but I'm using it to proofread a script. But what I don't like is when people do the exact thing that I'm doing now, but instead of but they just kind of use the text to speech for the video. And let me be clear, it's not the fact that they use the text to speech for the video narration. That's fine. The problem is that 11 Labs, 11 Reader, you can essentially kind of do what you do with actors, is that in the sense that you can regenerate the same line over and over again until you have a good take. And I think it's best to use when you're willing to generate it line by line and kind of take out the best deliveries and then stitch together to create a better performance. What a lot of people do is they just kind of copy and paste the entire script into 11 Labs, and then they just use the raw narration without doing any retakes, even if it sounds weird. And that's why you can always tell when someone is using AI voiceover, because their chances are they're not like diligently regenerating the take over and over again until they get something good and then mixing and matching. They're just kind of using the single take. And right now we're not really at a point in time where like you can do like a one-shot generation and it's going to sound completely fine or completely or like the delivery is going to be entirely as you imagined it from the first go. Maybe one day it'll even be better than what you imagined. But, you know, it's important to, I guess it's just important to have that human eye on it for now. And, you know, that human eye is going to be moving up and up and up the chain as it gets better. But ultimately, right, and I don't think anyone's going to want like a purely like no human in the, or like if there is like a no human in the mix sort of content, it's going to be a very different appeal from, you know, something that is human centered. It's, you know, it's going to be two completely different sort of a thing, because one's going to be more like watching a simulation, right? Like AI generated an AI generated show is going to be like more like anything could happen because no one is writing this. And there's kind of a fascination with that. But it's not an extension of like of someone's real lived human experience. So that's where that's always going to live, I think. And you know, I'm spitballing a lot right now, and I feel like these are very complex sort of. So I guess it's because I haven't streamed for so long, and all of these things have kind of just built up in my system over the last year or so, where it's like, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, but you gotta work, you gotta work, you gotta work. We got to work, we got to work. And it's just kind of all coming out at once. But let's continue this process.
Thoroughly documented that the Jurassic Park wiki literally has an entire page dedicated to their that have been so thoroughly documented that the Jurassic Park wiki literally has an entire page dedicated to their diligent documentation, scene by scene. And because YouTube sorta gave me notice recently, I've decided it is time to break the emergency glass and nitpick Jurassic Park. And you're gonna fucking watch. 2 or 3 times if necessary, mister. Don't think I won't strap you to that chair and staple your eyes open. We're in crisis mode, young man. Don't make me get my belt. Get it together and rewatch Mr. Edge Guy about 40 to 50 times. I'll wait. No, I won't. I don't got time. Jurassic Park. Let's bark some snark. There's...
Let's bark some snark. Let's bark some snark. Fuck, I'm gonna keep that in. I think I can make that line work. The AI couldn't. I am superior
There's the raptor
to all
that gets
machines,
bitten
though.
so hard by the...
I'm superior to the machine. I can make that line work, even if AI Judy Gardner could
There's
not.
the raptor that gets bitten so hard by the Tyrannosaurus that it literally disappears for a single frame, which makes...
You know what? I need a better transition between that introductory section and, yeah. Let's box some snark. Okay, beginning. And let's... At the end of the film, our main character, our heroes are saved by one Deus Ex Tyrannosaurus. And while it is chewing and chewing and masticating this raptor. Oh, but I've already used mastication later. Oh, but masticating. What are some good words for chewing? I'm going to look up all the words for chewing. Chewing synonym. Chewing synonym. Masticate. Munch. Ah, munch. Chomp. Crunch. Bite. Nibble. Gnaw. Grind. Ooh, grind. Eat. Consume. Devour. Manduc... Whoa, that's a new word. What does manducate mean? Manducate. That's like mansplaining, but like the next level. Oh, God. I love obscure words. I really do. Manducate. What a fucking good word. Manducate. I love it. From the Latin manducat, which means chewed. It even has a graph here for usage over time. Apparently it was very popular in the 1850s. Wow. So it means to chew or to eat. So she fell upon the wretched vegetable and manducated it. We are putting that in the script. Manducate. Wow. Manducate. We are manducating. Yes, we are. I'm gonna fucking manducate my lunch later. Manducation. That's like a little short right there. Meme learns a new word. Meme learns a new word and then he comes inside of himself. Yes, he does. He came inside of himself. Well, I need to get ready for bed for work tomorrow. Have a great time proofreading your script, meme. Thank you, Desmond. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Where am I going to insert this? And while it chews, grinds, and otherwise manducates this poor raptor. This poor raptor. We are brought face with a most embarrassing blunder. Blunders. As the sickle-clawed fiend disappear. vanishes for a single frame. That's right, the Rexy's bite was so strong. Rexy's bite force was so awesomely immense that it literally deleted the raptor for a single instant of time. It literally deleted the raptor for a single instant of time. And you see, in like a more serious script that would you see, for a more serious script, right? That would a single instant of time would be a bit of an awkward sort of phrase, but because this is kind of a, this is a goofy sort of comedy script, having a little bit more of an exaggeration in the language is actually quite beneficial, because it does just, because this is the kind of thing you would laugh at in a serious thing, but when you're trying to make the audience laugh, getting it embellishing is actually going to work in your favor quite a bit. Quite a bit, I say. Quite a bit. Okay, so there's the raptor that gets bitten so hard. A feat of biological. A feat of dental grinding. So overwhelming, it begs the. It creates plot. It creates it begs the. It creates plot holes in future films. It ripples forward in time. And creates plot holes in future films. How did the Spinosaurus? How did the Spinosaurus wiggle free? Wiggle and squirm its way out of its T-Rex encounter? When it was clamped dead to rights betwixt its multiverse morphing masticator when it was its massive multi when its neck was clamped dead to rights betwixt its. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Damn it. And also, I mean, the real reason that doesn't make sense is that Tyrannosaurus had the, like, I think it had the strongest bite force of anything that's basically ever lived. Like this is like one of the most uncontested facts about Tyrannosaurus. So anytime you see a fight in a movie and something manages to escape Tyrannosaurus's jaw without like tearing huge chunks of its own flesh out. You know, you gotta wonder, like, what the fuck's going on there? But that's not why we're here. But again, once again, I have edited this script to such an extreme degree that I must now put it back through the Judy Garland machine to regenerate the new additions. I need to retitle this stream as Editing Jurassic Park Script and maybe recording it. Maybe. I didn't actually know what to call this stream, to be honest. We're probably going to change the title a few times. Let's see. Editing Jurassic Park video script and maybe recording it. Save. Yeah, I did not know what to do. Did not know what to do with that. Oh, we're gonna do something more fun. Don't worry, we'll do something more fun eventually once this thing is written. But I think this is cool because you guys get to have a little behind the scenes look at the process, and I think that's good because you know you get to just see that the process of video creation is kind of boring in its way, but you get to see that it's not.
I love Jurassic Park with the entirety of my.
Why does it not let me? Why does it do that? Why does it always auto play? Okay, so
I love Jurassic Park.
Shut the fuck up, Judy. Okay, but yeah, I think it's just cool to show this stuff and to kind of give an idea of how this all works. I mean, I'm not showing it in the sense that I'm screen recording because I'm a deeply private person, but you know, I'm giving a sense of like, you know, putting a video together is a lot of just busy work and a lot of going, I don't know if this is working or not. Oh, we got to do this line again. You get to hear the lines that don't work and how I just kind of keep going over them until it's something usable. You know, I think that's valuable. That's valuable stuff.
I love Jurassic Park with the entirety of my purple, pulsating, pectoral adjacent organ. And while the film is rock solid from a writing, directing, and performance point of view, it's also got many, many, many technical goofs that have been so thoroughly documented that the Jurassic Park Wiki literally has an entire page dedicated to their diligent...
You know what? I think this is not going to be an edit that will require a regeneration, but it will be an edit that I want to make, which is I want to just shorten that line a little bit. Well known are these and so well known are these goofs. Are these goofs? That the Jurassic Park Wiki literally has an entire page dedicated to their diligent documentation, scene by scene. Daddy? I'm putting daddy in the script, and I don't care if you judge me, chat. I don't care. I'm putting daddy in the script. I am putting daddy in the script. So well known. Daddy? There we go. Yeah, this is the most awkward. This is the fucking part of script writing I hate the most. It's that it's the fact that the latter half of your script is always going to be so much better than the first half, like in those initial drafts, because the first half of your script is when you just started, when you're just shaking the cobwebs off and you don't even really know where this is kind of going to go, especially if you're writing it in a rush like I was. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's so good. So good. Okay, let's...
Documentation, scene by scene. And because YouTube sorta gave me notice recently, I've decided it is time to break the emergency glass and nitpick Jurassic Park.
You know what? That sounds a little bit too generic YouTuber-y. Not that that's always a bad thing, but I feel like I can do better. Let's see. I've decided to break and nitpick the mother The mother-loving flunkle bub out of this film that I love so very much. Out of this film. I know.
And you're gonna fucking watch. 2 or 3 times if necessary, mister. Don't think I won't strap you to that chair and staple your eyes open. We're in crisis mode, young man. Don't make me get mob belt. Get it together and rewatch Mr. Edge Guy about 40 to 50 times. I'll wait. No, I won't. I don't got time. Jurassic Park! Let's box some snot! Okay, beginning at the end, let's highlight this embarrassing blunder. At the end of the film, our heroes are saved by one Deus Ex Tyrannosaurus, and while it chews, grinds, and other mandicates this poor rat.
Otherwise manducates. Otherwise manducates. Otherwise. See, this would be where AI would come in real handy. Well, this is where AI does come in real handy. It just needs to be way more. It needs to be way more incorporated into the actual editing process. Where, if it can use its advanced algorithms to tell that, oh, maybe this word "other" was meant to be "otherwise." That's actually a really good use for it, because that saves me a little bit of time. But I think it needs to be good enough that it's not changing words that I wouldn't want it to change. And that is the challenge of creating and programming these intelligent systems, is giving it enough nuanced intelligence to be able to understand what is a legitimate flub versus what might be stylization, what might be X, Y, or Z. You know what I mean.
We are brought a face with the most embarrassing blunder as the sickle-clawed fiend vanishes for a single frame. Rexy's bite force was so awesomely immense that it literally deleted the raptor for a single instant of time. A feat of dental grinding so overwhelming it ripples forward in time and creates plot holes in future films. How did the Spinosaurus wiggle and squirm its way out of its T-Rex encounter when its neck was clamped dead to rights betwixt its massive multiverse morphing masticator?
Okay, there's something off about that line. I like where it's going. I like where it's going. But what is off about that line? Multiverse. Let's see. How did this? For example, now that we know the raw reality power of this. Sheer reality of time. Of InGen's T-Rex. Oh, I might need to get rid of. No, I can still incorporate it. I can still save the line. I can still save it, damn it. Of InGen's. How do I spell InGen? Damn it. It's not going to come up on. Is that? Okay, it is one word. But it's spelt with a capital G. That's why it looked off. InGen. And it's spelt with a capital I as well. Of InGen's clones. Of InGen's Tyrannosaurus clones. That Spino's neck. That Spino's neck was clamped dead to rights. was clamped dead to rights betwixt its massive multiverse morphing masticator. I like the alliteration, I do. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, you know what? I had to lose it. We have to kill our darlings. We have to kill our darlings. I think the thing I regret most now is I do not have any mastication in this script. But I did find the word manjicate. Feet. Okay, but I can move mastication up here. Good, mastication. A feat of mastication so overwhelming. There we go. We managed to save mastication, and that is all I wanted. It's all I ever wanted. All I ever needed. I'm already hungry. I'm already hungry. I want my bottle. Where?
It just doesn't make sense, damn it. But I suppose we shouldn't be surprised.
I'm going to check that this stream actually has audio for a second. Just because. Stream actually has audio. Okay, good. I got really paranoid for a second. Because I know that at least one person could hear me. Right? But that one person was, you know, that was probably all the confirmation I needed. Mr. Desmond confirming that, you know, commenting on the video itself. But there was just that part of my brain that was like, what if I'm seeing things? What if I'm insane? And, you know, you got to check that shit before you wreck that shit.
The same T-Rex that summoned the power of flight to rise above his...
Okay, but here we go. Oh, I just realized I have a clip note in my script because I put in notes for where I want to like slot in clips because it'll save me some time in the edit. And I have put it. I put it in the wrong place. There we go.
But I suppose we shouldn't be surprised. This is the same T-Rex that summoned the power of flight to rise above his cliffy confinement where...
I have misgendered this Tyrannosaurus. I have misgendered this Tyrannosaur. And it is unacceptable. Her cliffy confinement. Damn it. We do not misgender tyrannosaurs on this channel. We are an accepting people. Let's see. Let's see. But I suppose we shouldn't be surprised. This is the same T-Rex that summoned the power of flight to rise above her cliffy confinement, where Alan Grant would later flail and fall. To create... You know what? That's that summoned the power of flight to create the illusion that it was stepping. To fool. Before the reveal. Before the reveal. That her paddock is actually at the bottom of... That her paddock is actually... Of a giant fuck-off cliff. Oh no, wait, that clip was in the right place. So maybe that bull from... So maybe this Isla Sorna bull simply hadn't gotten its wings yet. Was simply yet to get its wings. Ah, you gotta love the classics.
Grant would later flail fall. So maybe this bull was simply yet to get its wings. Clip.
So maybe this sauna bull was. So maybe this sauna bull was simply yet to get. You know what? It's a he. That bull tyrannosaur was a he because it's in the name bull. A bull is a male. So a bull tyrannosaur would be a male tyrannosaurus, the same way that a buck tyrannosaur is a male tyrannosaur. Do these definitions fall apart? I think they do. Because a tyrannosaur is neither a cow nor is it a deer. Yet we call them by these terms. And why? I don't know. I don't even know where the term bull tyrannosaur came from. It was probably in some book somewhere. Like behold the bull tyrannosaur of Isla Sorna. It got its fucking neck snapped by the Spinosaurus. Okay, I'm going to edit this line as well. All this is to say that this is no mere Tyrannosaurus, friends.
Bull T-Rex from JP3. This is no mere Tyrannosaurus, friends. This is God's chosen creature. I mean, the spark of the divine would certainly go a long way to explain how you can feel its footsteps in your bones one moment, only for her to be stealthy enough to sneak up on you while you're looking directly in its direction.
While looking directly at her. You know what? No, it needs to be... I can shorten that line. I can make that line better. I can make it better, bigger, stronger, faster. Moving there just makes us better. It's been so long since I listened to that song. King Kong, Mr. Bong. You know, I do sing in this script. And it's going to be really funny to hear Judy try and just say the lyrics, because it doesn't work at all spoken. How you can feel its footsteps. Only for her to be stealthy enough to sneak. Hmm. I mean, the spark of the divine would go a long way to explain how you can feel its footsteps, how you can feel her footsteps, how you can feel her footsteps in your bones one moment. Only for her to be. The front. At the end of the film. During the. And we do have some jabs against other Jurassic films, so we're about to come up on one jab against Dominion.
Or how the hell she summoned miraculous genetic memory during its fight with...
Or how the hell she summoned her, and how the hell she summoned her miraculous, or however the hell summoned this miraculous, this superpower, this power of miraculous genetic memory. There we go.
The Giga in Dominion. I mean, holy hell, this isn't just good memory. She's literally remembering her past life. She's going full avatar mode and unifying her essence, going from mere cloning to reincarnation. But who created God's chosen creature? Why, God, of course. God Hammond. After all...
Let's see. Reincarnation? But who is God's... This is not mere biology, friends. This is the spark of the divine. To true reincarnation. Only possible with God's chosen creature. But who created God's... There we go. I try to make sure each sentence... The awkward thing about script writing sometimes is that you think of a really good idea, but you kind of just slot it into, like, in between some parts that are already written. But then when you read them all at once, it's like, oh, these parts don't lead into each other at all. So you've got to find a way to get them both to play nice with each other.
She who bends reality must be imbued with their gifts, they whom have always known the ways. And Papa Hammond knows the ways. Papa McGod Hammond, who, much like Jesus, subtly demonstrated his mastery of the elements by transmuting this white towel into a pink one. Clearly, cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his creative capabilities. He even magicked the dust off Alan Grant's forehead in between shots. That was nice of him. He even cleared the very clouds themselves just to make his creation marvel his creations in God's light.
Let's see. Let's see. Ba ba bum, ba ba bum, ba ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, ba ba bum. He even cleared the very clouds themselves just to make. Just to allow his guests to marvel. To marvel at his to allow his creations their fullest majesty. To allow his guests to appreciate the full majesty of his creations. Bathing his creations by bathing them in God's light, his light, Hammond's light. Hammond is the sun. Clouds, Hammond is the sun.
His light, Hammond's light. Hammond is the sun. Hammond was playing God, you say, Malcolm? Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Rockstar mathematician who inexplicably has very detailed knowledge about genetics and biology. Clip, asterisk. Malcolm joining in Ellie and Grant's queries during the Mr. DNA presentation. Asterisk. Let me ask you, how can you play yourself? After all, Mr. Hammond clearly claims that the insect in his cane is a mosquito when it is clearly a crane fly. But are you going to tell God that he's wrong? No, he's the one who decides, so clearly that's a mosquito. Because God said so. Are half the dinosaurs on these labels misspelled, or did God Hammond say this is how they were always spelled? And that's probably how he's always present for every hatching of every dinosaur, despite the hatchings taking place across 2 islands, because God Hammond is everywhere and everything. Clip, asterisk. Lisa starts playing the jug for the backing track, asterisk. Clip, asterisk, Hammond, rising as the sun in Teletubbies, asterisk. Singing, Hammond is the rock, Hammond is the tree, Hammond is the wood inside of me. Hammond is the car. Hammond is the boat. Hammond is the goat. T-Rex deep throats. Clip. Asterisk Jurassic Park. 3 ringtone as transition asterisk. God Hammond. God Hammond says, where did you go? God Hammond. Clip. Asterisk Jurassic Park.
Oh, we have new active people. That IT guy. Hey, hello, my friend. Hey, been missing your videos and your appearances on EFAP. Hope to see you on there again. You were sorely missed during the Superman EFAP. Oh, yes, hopefully I can, once everything is cleared up, in terms of just projects and everything, we can get everything back on track. Though, of course, I'm having to divert from that in order to do all these videos and streams to save the channel's monetization and all that, but that's okay. That is A-okay with me. Well, not A-okay with me, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I appreciate your support, my friend. We are chug-a-lugging along, and that's what counts. And right now, we are proofreading. We are using Judy Garland's voice to proofread video script. We've had to stop and start many times because the earlier parts of the script are a little bit more rough than the later parts where I was definitely more in the groove. But appreciate you, buddy.
3 ringtone as transition asterisk. Hammond is the sky. Hammond is the land. Hammond is the hand that touches the raptor's tail to counterbalance the weight. No, that's not Hammond. Who the hell is that trying to get some tail? God damn. I don't know who this raptor tail toucher was, but he might be related to these mysterious appendages copping a feel. Yeah, look at the wide. Look at the scene. Those ain't the hands of no Jurassic Park worker, so who was he? Or she? Nobody knows. Oh, personally, though, I think it was the man Dennis was talking to in this scene on the computer screen. This man is clearly disciple of the great Hammond, as
clearly a disciple of the great Hammond, the great god, the great John Hammond, great Hammond, ham and cheese sandwich. This man is clearly a disciple. There we go.
With his obvious and apparent precognitive abilities, which means he can see the future. How can you explain Dennis having full-on conversation?
Okay, let's see. By the way, this is, I don't even know how this happens. Like, even in the film. Like, there's literally a scene where Dennis Nedry is having a conversation with someone who's meant to be, like, on a live security camera, right? And you can clearly see a progress bar underneath him, which means that they're playing a video file. Oh, how can you let's see. How else can you explain Dennis having a full-on conversation with a motherfucking video file?
With a video file. Clip. Asterisk. Zoom in on the progress bar, asterisk. And yes, that does mean Jurassic Park did blink 14 years before Doctor Who did. Clip, asterisk. Doctor Who clip of 10 explaining how they're communicating via the video, asterisk. And let's talk about why Jurassic Park went wrong in the first place. Was it due to human arrogance and corporate greed? Kind of, yes, but in the way you think.
Not in the way you think, Judy. Not in the way you think. How dare you read my script exactly as it was written? How dare you? How dare you? Was it due to the arrogance? Was it due to... Was it due to human arrogance and corporate greed? Kind of, yes, but not. Not in the way you think.
I don't believe the park needed fences, and that was the fatal flaw. You see, it's apparent throughout the film that the fences are incomplete. Was this a fuck up on the production side? Hell no, son. If you read between the lines the same way I'm gazing between the fences, you will clearly see that the fences were a compromise. For God only had one weakness.
I don't know why, like, current generation AI voices do this. Occasionally they just release very sexual moans in between paragraphs. It's really off-putting and makes me feel very confusing emotions. And that's what it does.
Lawyers. And it was these lawyers that forced him to erect fences where sheer spark of his divine...
Okay, where the sheer spark of his divine will. Damn it! Damn you! Fucking hell! Damn you! Damn you all to hell! Let's see. That forced him to erect fence. To erect these fences. To erect these fences where the sheer spark of his divine will would have otherwise kept the animals and humans both apart and at bay. Why else would these three choose to climb this incredibly dangerous fence instead of walking around it? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is one. If you're looking close enough at the fences in Jurassic Park, right, you kind of start to notice that they did not build enough fence to wrap around the area that it's meant to wrap around. So there's a few pieces of fence in the foreground, and then the fence just kind of stops where it's meant to keep going, and it's kind of funny.
Will would have otherwise kept the animals and humans at bay. Why else would they climb this incredibly dangerous fence instead of walking around? The fence was a weaker obstacle than the unclimbable air blessed by his spiritual spunk. And had the entire park been operated by magic and not evil lawyer science, things would have been very different.
Evil. Is it egotistical to laugh at your own jokes? I don't care. It's funny.
This was also why Rexy only ate Gennaro and no one else. Rexy is not a malicious creature. She was bred with the spark of the divine. The divine spark instilled in her a genetic hatred of lawyers.
Let's see. Let's see. The spark of the divine. Yeah, this is like a quintessential meme repository script. Because it starts off, because I literally did start writing this going, yeah, let's nitpick Jurassic Park. And now we're 5 pages in, and where are we at? We're at John Hammond is God, and he blessed his T-Rex with the spark of the divine, and the park fell not because of poor design, but because of evil lawyer science. This is as meme repository as meme repository gets, my friends. And that's why I felt like this was the perfect script. And I wish I didn't have to crunch it out in such a short amount of time. And had the entire park been operated by magic and not evil lawyer science, things would have been very different. What was I editing? Oh yeah, genetic hatred of lawyers. That was it. Evil lawyer science. This was also why Rexy only ate Gennaro and no one else. Rexy is not a malicious creature. She was bred. That divine spark instilled in her a genetic hatred of lawyers.
That's also why it hates Malcolm, because he was brought by the lawyer. You think that T-Rex's sight is based on movement? Fuck off with that pussy shit. It clearly sniffed that Grant and Child here were not lawyers and left them the fuck alone. Silly voice. But Ming, didn't she try to eat the kid's car? I think you mean the leper vehicle. Leper being the ancient Mayan word for lawyer. Rexy was only tearing up the car to search for the lawyer. But as soon as he locked onto the distinctive odor of a lawyer marking his territory...
She, damn it, and past meme, damn you, misgendering this Tyrannosaurus. This is a she-Rex. Let it be known. In Jurassic Park, it is a she-Rex, and we must respect its pronouns. The pronouns of this Tyrannosaurus, this cloned Tyrannosaurus Rex. Quickly diverted and locked on to its natural enemy. There we go.
He quickly diverted and locked onto his natural enemy. And what our velociraptor...
Oh my god, I misgendered her twice! Fuck! The T-Rex Council is not going to be happy with me.
Raptors, but nature's lawyers. Clip. Asterisk T-Rex fucks up raptors asterisk. Exactly. Back on the fences, though, let's look at little Timmy here. He survived 10,000 votes through his body. Timmy, the human piece of toast. Only the spark of divine passed down through his...
Spark of the divine? Spark of the divine, Judy. Get it right. Get it fucking right. Get it right. So pass down only the spark of the divine. We must get this right.
Grandfather could explain Timmy's survival, though we now know how the raptor's down because...
We now know... Oh, track them down. Yes, that's such a large typo. I was confused about what I had even written. Though at least we now know how the raptors track them down, because barbecue demigod gotta smell real good.
Barbecue demigod gotta smell real good. Although, I think you read somewhere that you need to be touching the ground for the...
No. I read somewhere, not you read somewhere. Well, technically you, if you're talking to me, but when I'm reading the script, it's gotta be... although I think I...
to shock you like that because of some science bullshit? I don't know. We're talking about God here. God Hammond. Hammond is God.
Okay. Oh, I just thought of a... See, I'm still coming up with ideas. I don't know. We're talking about God here. Leave your evil lawyer science over there.
Hammond is a god with 5 islands. How else can you explain glass inexplicably creaking and spiderwebbing when glass does not, in fact...
Okay, I think I gotta just tweak the phrasing. How else can you explain the glass in this vehicle inexplicably... This is like a really obscure nitpick, because there's a scene in the Lost World Jurassic Park where my ass is going numb, so I'm standing up now. But there's like this scene in the Lost World Jurassic Park where they're like dangling over the cliff, and like what's her name has fallen, that chick that gets naked in every movie she's in, I forget her name, but she's fallen, and she's fallen on the glass. She's put him on the glass. Call back to the beginning of the stream. And she's landed, and the glass has successfully, not shattered, which is good. But then the glass starts creaking and spiderwebbing. It's like, oh no, the glass is gonna fucking give out. And someone pointed out that like glass doesn't work that way. You're thinking of ice. You're thinking of ice, my friend. Ice will do that if you're standing on it, because obviously ice has a temperature component while glass does not. I think that's how it worked anyway. I read it long ago, and I haven't bothered to fact check it because I don't have time.
Do that. It either holds your weight or it doesn't. You want to know what does do that? Ice. Insert your own politically relevant joke here. There are plenty to choose from. Or maybe instead of throwing shit at each other, we can bathe under his brilliance, his light, and embrace the fact that the only explanation that could possibly exist for this fact is the fact that, in fact, that it is no coincidence that the glass behaves this way on his...
And in fact, okay. So this sentence is actually meant to be a little bit clunky by design, but there was a bit of clunk in there that was not by design. And I must, like the almighty Hammond, smite the unintended flaw. Is for this fact, for this is the fact that, in fact, it is
island. For all glass on his islands are actually hot ice. And that's a fact. Because he said it so. So it was so. It takes the strength of 3 people to escape the spinny ride chair, yet Hammond one-handed. Is it because...
You know, there are some flaws in here that aren't really flaws, but it's funny to think that they're flaws because it makes for a better joke. So, like, there's this one part where, like, it takes Hammond, Ellie, and Malcolm, all 3 of them pushing the ride chair bars up in order to release them from the ride. And then it looks like John Hammond just pushes it with one arm to get off. But what probably was happening there is that it's probably just an automated mechanism that happens when one row is put up. But it's funnier to believe that he actually has super strength. Yet the mighty Hammond, with only a single flick of his mighty appendage, is it because built into the ride?
Because of an automated mechanism? Fuck no, son. It's because he's God. He has the strength of an infinity man. I mean, of course he's God. He's literally an old man in white. Look at him. He looks like Santa Claus.
There's a funnier way to phrase that. Look at him. He's basically Santa Claus. There we go. That's better.
He's like the embodiment of positive masculinity, which of course means he's gay.
Oh, here's the best part. He's like the physical he's like the corporeal. That's a good word. Corporeal. The corporeal. Like in corporeal form.
Because what is manlier than fucking another man in the ass? But what about his grandchildren? Are they adopted? Well, of course not. For as we have established, Timmy, the human piece of toast has the spark of the divine, so his father or mother must have been divine themselves. God Hammond, therefore, clearly divinely inserted a uterus into another man's ass so he could impregnate his male partner, enabling him to give birth through his anus and conceive the father and or mother of the children we see in the film. Don't believe me? Look at the dinosaurs. You have a park full of female dinosaurs. All the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are female. Therefore, what do you have? A park full of lesbian dinosaurs. But not only that, the spark of the divine. You've heard of God's loophole. Clip. Fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. Well, the great
I sometimes read my own scripts and go like, how do we start at nitpicking a single frame of a velociraptor disappearing in a T-Rex's mouth and end at God's loophole? Fuck me in the ass. I love Jesus. Also, all the dinosaurs are lesbians. I amaze myself sometimes.
Therefore, what do you have? A park full of lesbian dinosaurs. But not only that, the spark of the divine. You've heard of God's loophole. Clip. Fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. Well, the great Hammond put his own loophole into his creations too, that they may reproduce, allowing them to become male if they need be male, and therefore you have a park for the lesbian transgender dinosaur.
No, I misphrased that. God damn it. It's meant to say full of lesbian transgender dinosaurs. Damn it. Damn it all. You have a park full of lesbian transgender dinosaurs. There we go.
Is there a more progressive establishment than Jurassic Park? I think not. I think not. It is, of course, run by God, and only God could create such a divinely progressive establishment, procuring such things as transgender lesbian dinosaurs. I rest my case. But I see some of you are not yet convinced, so I must turn to the topmost overriding source of Jurassic Park canon, above even the films themselves. I am, of course, talking about the intro to Jurassic Park, Operation Genesis. Which, fun fact, John Hammond in that game was voiced by Charles Bud Tingwell. However, that doesn't mean that Richard Attenborough never voiced John Hammond in any Jurassic Park game, as he lent his voice to the game Trespasser, a game you would never know was a Jurassic Park game based only on the box art and title alone. And I wish that was the game's only problems. Clip of the game being awful asterisk. Wait, what was I going to show you?
God, I think this is my, this is like a Rorschach test or something. This is like me in a script.
Oh, right, Operation Genesis. Clip, asterisk plays the divine parts of the intro asterisk. See? And look at the name. Operation Genesis. As in, the Bible. A developer wouldn't dare lie to us through their title, right? I rest my case. Hammond is God, and what God says goes. Raptors don't have feathers. God said so. Dilophosaurs did too have a frill and spit venom because God said so. Who are you to say that Brachiosaurus couldn't chew? Because God said so, therefore they could. Oh, God, I wish I could win every argument like this. All Jurassic Park films are now good. Or all Jurassic Park sequels were bad because Hammond made it so. Oh, this line is funny now. Clip. God creates dinosaurs. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man creates dinosaurs. It was all God, Alan. Full name Godosaurus Hammondus. The third. Asterisk, small, cut to black asterisk. Asterisk, fade in on image of possible explanation for T-Rex escape asterisk. I mean, maybe that T-Rex thing wasn't actually an error, but did you want this video to be funny or not, Lewis? Asterisk. Another small cut to black asterisk. Oh, and YouTube, please don't demonetize my channel now, because God said so. Bitch. 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 Doesn't quite sound right on the tongue, that word, does it? Bitch. You know what does sound right on the tongue, though? Clip. Asterisk. Lisa starts playing the jug for the backing track, asterisk. Clip, asterisk, Jurassic Park. 3 ringtone is transition asterisk. Hammond is the ham. Hammond is the cheese. Hammond is the cream inside my jeans. Hammond is the bone. Hammond is the phone. Hammond's every one of my kidney stones. Clip, asterisk, Jurassic Park. 3 ringtone as transition asterisk. God Hammond. God Hammond. Where did you go? God Hammond. God Hammond. God Hammond. Please touch my bowels. God Hammond. Clip, asterisk, Jurassic Park. 3 ringtone as transition asterisk. Hammond's got a Glock. He's aiming for my... Bang. Joke's on you. I haven't felt anything down there since the propranolol. LOL. And now for the parents in the audience. Clip asterisk Hammond going push to the sound of a baby being born because why not asterisk?
Alrighty. So that basically confirms what I was saying towards the beginning, that the beginning part definitely needed more work than the later parts, where I was in more of a flow state, and I'd really found the essence of the video. And so how long was that? That was about 13 minutes. And if you add clips on top of that, that might go up to 15. We will see. It was a 13, so this will be a 13-minute video. And hopefully a very rewatchable 13 minutes of content. So let us begin the recording session. See if we can get through it. Hammond is the rock, Hammond is the trees, Hammond is the cock inside of me. Hammond is my balls, see him on the wall. Hammond makes us fall on the big floor. Look, it'll all make sense. Trust me. You must have trust in me. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When your buttholes all there. Okay, let's record this fucking video. Okay. I love Jurassic Park with the entirety of my purple pulsating pectoral adjacent organ. And while the film is rock solid from a writing, directing, and performance point of view, it's also got many technical goofs. That doesn't sound right. It also possesses a great many technical goofs. And so well known are these goofs that the Jurassic Park wiki literally has an entire page dedicated to their diligent documentation. Daddy? Dedicated to their diligent documentation. Daddy? And because YouTube kinda sorta gave me notice recently, I've decided it is time to break the emergency glass. And because YouTube kinda sorta gave me notice recently, I've decided it is time to break the emergency glass and nitpick the mother-lovin' funkle flub out of this film I love so very much. And you're all gonna fucking watch, damn it. And you're all gonna fucking watch, damn it. 2 or 3 times if necessary, mister. 2 or 3 times if necessary, mister. Don't think I won't strap you to that chair and staple your eyes open. We're in crisis mode, young man. Don't make me get my belt. 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 Get it together. Rewatch Mr. Edge Guy about 40 to 50 times. Get it together. Rewatch Mr. Edge Guy about 40 to 50 times. Get it together. Get it together and rewatch Mr. Edge Guy about 40 or 50 times. I'll wait. No. Get it together and rewatch Mr. Edge Guy 40 or 50 times. I'll wait. No, I won't. I don't got time. Jurassic Park. Let's bark some snark. I think that's the delivery. I think that's the way. That is the way. That is the way. Mr. Mandalorian, sir. Mr. Mandalorian, I don't know where you came from, but I'd like to kiss your head. Mwah. You know, if you look at the top of my head, it kind of looks like a coin slot. Anyway, maybe I should just make that a permanent part of the design. I wear the helmet to cover my coin slot. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Okay, beginning at the end, let's highlight this embarrassing blunder. At the end of the film, our heroes are saved by Deus Ex Tyrannosaurus And while it chews, grinds, and otherwise manducates this poor raptor, we are... What the fuck is that? Oh, there we go. I missed a T in the word brought. We are brought... We are brought face to face. See, I'm already finding new typos. We are brought face to face with a most embarrassing blunder. Okay, I feel like I need to redo this part. Oh, that's why I do text-to-speech, because if I stopped and started like this all the time, I would not get very far. Okay. Okay, beginning at the end, let's highlight this embarrassing flub. At the end of the film, our heroes are saved by one Deus Ex Tyrannosaurus, and while it chews, grinds, and otherwise manducates this poor raptor, we are brought face to face with a most embarrassing blunder as the sickle-clawed fiend vanishes for a single frame. As the sickle-clawed fiend vanishes for a single frame. For a single frame. Rex's bite force was so awesomely immense that it literally... Rex's bite force was so awesomely immense that it literally deleted the raptor for a single instant of time. A feat of mastication so overwhelming, it rippled forward in time and created plot holes in future films. It rippled forward in time and created plot holes in future films. And created plot holes in future films. How did the Spinosaurus wiggle and squirm its way out of its T-Rex encounter? I should put like a little emphasis thing there to... How did the Spinosaurus wiggle and squirm its way out of its T-Rex encounter, for example? Now that we've established the raw reality-breaking power of InGen's Tyrannosaurus clones? I mean, look at this. That Spino's neck was clamped dead to rights. So it just doesn't make any sense, damn it. T-Rex encounter. Is Meme reading some of his erotica again? Oobly. You have no idea what's coming. Be scared. Be very afraid of my script. How did the Spinosaurus wiggle and squirm its way out of its T-Rex encounter, for example? Now that we've established the raw, reality-breaking power of InGen's Tyrannosaurus clones. That Spino's neck was clamped dead to rights, so it just doesn't make any sense. I need to tweak that line. That Spino's neck was clamped dead to rights. It should be dead on the ground. So it should be dead on the ground. It just doesn't make any sense. Damn it. How did the Spinosaurus wiggle and squirm its way out of its T-Rex encounter, for example? Now that we've established the raw reality-breaking power of InGen's Tyrannosaurus clones. That Spino's neck was clamped dead to rights, so it should be dead on the ground. It just doesn't make any sense, damn it. It just doesn't make any sense, damn it. It just doesn't make any sense, damn it. It just does not make any sense, damn it. Knowing, anytime I do multiple takes like that, it's either going to be the very last one that's the best one, or the very first one. You just never know. But I suppose we shouldn't be surprised. This is the same T-Rex that summoned the power of flight to create the illusion that it was stepping out of its paddock. That it was stepping out of its paddock from solid ground. There we go. Oh, you just wait, Oobly. You just wait, my friend. You wait. You haven't seen nothing yet. But I suppose we shouldn't be surprised. This is the same T-Rex that summoned the power of flight, to create the illusion that it was stepping out of its paddock from solid ground, before the reveal that her paddock is actually at the bottom of a giant fuck-off cliff. So maybe this sauna bull was simply yet to get its wings. I think the word perhaps would sound better there. So perhaps this sauna bull was simply yet to get his wings. All this is to say that this is no ordinary Tyrannosaurus, friends. All this is to say that this is no mere Tyrannosaurus, friends. This is God's chosen creature. This is God's chosen creature. All this is to say that this is no mere Tyrannosaurus, friends. This is God's chosen creature. This is God's chosen creature. You see, I always hear my drama teachers in the back of my head going, "Meme, you gotta say that line a little bit clearer. You gotta do that." And then I overthink every delivery because of that. Everyone give my those drama teachers a big middle finger, not because I hate them, but because they inspired a level of insecurity in me that makes it a really, really long process to get anything recorded, because everything must be perfect. I mean, the spark of the divine would certainly go a long way to explain how you can feel her footsteps in your bones in one scene, only for her to be stealthy enough to sneak up on you from the front during the aforementioned raptor reaming. I love reaming raptors. Or however, fight with the Giga in Dominion. I mean, holy hell, this isn't just good memory. She's literally remembering a past life. She's going full Avatar mode and unifying her essence, going from mere cloning to true reincarnation, only possible with God's chosen creature. But who created God's chosen creature? Why, God, of course. God Hammond. After all, she who bends reality must be imbued with their gifts, they whom have always known the ways. After all, she who bends reality must be imbued with their gifts, they whom have always known the ways. And Papa Hammond knows the ways. And Papa Hammond knows the ways. Papa McGod Hammond, whom, much like Jesus, subtly demonstrates his mastery of the elements by transmuting this white towel into a pink one. Papa McGod Hammond, whom, much like Jesus Christ, subtly demonstrates his mastery of the elements by transmutating this white towel into a pink one. Clearly cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his creatic capabilities. Let's try that line again. Clearly cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side. We are going to get this. We're going to do this. Oobly, do you believe in me, right? He's probably not even watching anymore. But I believe that Oobly believes in me. Therefore, I believe in myself. And that's all I need. I only need Oobly to believe in me, and then I will be able to do the thing, which is read this line. This line that I put in the script for myself. Why do I do this? Because I like alliteration, damn it. I love alliteration so much. Even if it's really hard to say sometimes. Clearly, cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his full creatic capabilities. Clearly, cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his creatic capabilities. Creatic is a word that I came up with, and I was curious if it actually existed. Turns out it does exist. It's a very obscure old word that no one uses anymore, and that's why I'm using it. Because it's a great word that more people should use. Clearly, cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his creatic capabilities. Let's try that one a bit slower. A bit more passion, a bit more style. No, not passion, but just a little bit more finesse. Clearly, cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his creatic capabilities. I'm going to get a little honeysuck. 1 second. I am now sucking on my honeysuck right now. It's a little honey lozenge, and it will coat my vocal folds in honey and will make my voice sweet. Or more accurately, it will just protect them a little bit because my voice is getting a little bit tired. However, I cannot deliver my lines while I have a honeysuck in my mouth. Do you like honeysucks, chat? Speak to me, chat. I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely, chat. But now I finally found someone to stand by me. So we take each other's hands, 'cause we need to understand the urgency. Just remember, you're the one thing I can't get enough of. So let me tell you something. This would be love. This could be love. Because I've had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. Has anyone watched that Dexter Resurrection show? I have. I wrote a whole script on it, and then the show kept unwinding. I kept having to change the script, and now I'm no longer. And now I want to save that script for a later time because I feel like I want to just refine it a bit more. Let's see what's happening in the world today. Wow, there's only one. Only one news story seems to be dominating everything today. It's probably what everyone. All right, and it is 9/11. That is another thing. I think we all remember where we were on 9/11. Unless you weren't born. You know, my support worker took the day off today. And I think I joked like, oh, you know, I can totally understand why you would want to take the day off on 9/11. And she was like, I wasn't even born yet. And I was like, well, that's me feeling a little bit old. I'm turning 30 in like just over 10 days. Fuck. Fuck, fuck, fuck. But now I finally found someone to stand by me. So we take each other's hand, and we need to understand the urgency. Just remember, you're the one thing I can't get enough of. So let me tell you something. This could be love. Honeysuck, suck faster. The people are waiting. I'm waiting. I'm putting the desk back down again. Wow, that's even lower. Put the desk at like the lowest height, which can sometimes be fun. Can sometimes be a bit different. It makes the room feel bigger when it's that low because there's no longer all this shit up in the air. But it's not sustainable. I know it's not sustainable, but sometimes you need to have fun. And sometimes fun can come with putting the desk at a slightly weird height. Also, while we're on while I'm just taking a little vocal break to suck on this honeysuck. Oh God. Um. Let's see. Watching. I'm gonna go to the comment section of this of the last stream. There's someone. So someone by the name of Sue. God, that's a lot of I think it's Sue 2002 2010. That might be a date of birth. I'm not sure, but it's in her username. I assume it's a she. But she left a very good comment, which was hope/glad you are still on the mend. Some of your health stuff could be a hypermobility spectrum disorder. Basically, soft tissue, including elastin in blood vessels, is slightly abnormal. Could explain dizziness and migraines. I want to kiss this woman because now I'm investigating the hypermobility thing because it's actually ticking a lot of boxes for the weird shit I've been through the last couple of years. But yes, I'm gonna give her the heart now, and I'm gonna reply saying, so happy that you brought this up. I've been investigating. It's encouraged me the last couple of weeks, and now I've just given you a shout out on today's stream. And now we're gonna put a little emoji in there. I'm not gonna put a winky face, that would be creepy. But why is that one of the first recommended emojis? I will never know. Oh, I want to just give a nice bright face. Just go like, yeah. Just like, yeah, good. Thank you, friend, for being a friend. Thank you. God. Okay, this grinning smiley face with big eyes looks like it looks like it's trying to get attention. I don't like it. All of these look a little bit too desperate for attention. I'm not gonna lie. The Windows emojis are weird. So I guess I don't know. Okay, that one's good. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that one works okay. I don't know. This is the weird thing about emojis is that because they're slightly different across platforms. Because they're slightly weird, they're slightly different across platforms, you don't actually know exactly how they're going to be translated. And it makes me feel really bad inside my balls. Like really bad inside my balls. Balls of steel. I wish I had more energy to do even more live streams so I could just pump up the numbers a bit more, but it's kind of just been this choice between either I do a live stream or I work on the video, and I chose to work on the video. Hopefully it's a gamble that pays off, but it's like it didn't seem like there was a clear right answer, but I felt like a video is probably going to be something with a bit more staying power, which is kind of my philosophy there. Man, this honeysuck really, really sucks. Well, actually, no, it tastes kind of good. It's got just a nice sweetness to it. But now I'm just filling time. I'm just filling time while I let it coat my vocal folds. But now I finally found someone to stand by me. So we take each other's hands and we seem to understand the urgency. Just remember. By the way, how fucked up is that? Are we coating your vocal folds? Yes, I got a honeysuck. And I'm sucking the honey out of the honeysuck so that I can coat my vocal folds. Like a little honey lozenge that I'm sucking on to just put a bit of... it's like a condom for my vocal folds. Think of it that way. It's like a condom, a prophylactic, but for vocal folds. By the way, why is it that when you click on, like, one Sabrina Carpenter thing, suddenly your entire feed turns into Sabrina Carpenter? I don't care about this woman. I'm sure she's nice. I just clicked on it because there were tits, okay? I clicked on it because there were tits. That doesn't mean I just wanted all Sabrina Carpenter in my feed. Leave me alone. Same for Olivia Rodrigo. Leave me alone. I have zero interest in these people. I clicked on it for tits, okay? I clicked on it for tits. She is very attractive, okay? I said it. I said it, okay? She is very attractive. There's a reason I clicked on it. But that doesn't mean I wanted all Sabrina all the time. Damn it. I haven't listened to a single one of her songs. Sabrina Carpenter versus Sydney Sweeney. Now that is something we must answer today. So I will look up a picture of Sabrina Carpenter. Let's see. Her eyebrows look a little bit weird. Or is it her eyes that look a little bit weird in some photos? I can't tell. Or is it just a bad photo? It's like... Or I know what it is. She looks better with like a fringe than she does when her hair is parted and you can see her forehead. So that's... Okay, so that's Sabrina Carpenter. Sydney Sweeney. This is your fault, Oobly. You must accept the consequences of your actions. Yeah, I think I will go to Camp Sydney Sweeney. I think she's just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But they're both incredibly attractive women. We don't need to put them against each other. Yeah, that's your little gooning. That's your little gooning. Remember how I learned the definition of gooning on Metal Stream? That was a classic moment. Someone track down that part so I can put it on the channel as a standalone clip. Meme learns what gooning is. That would be a clip to put there. Who what? When did this happen? This happened like a year or two ago. I found out that I think I just asked, like, what is gooning? Because someone mentioned gooning in the chat. And it was this miraculous thing where suddenly, you know, someone taught me what gooning was. And suddenly I was seeing the word gooning everywhere. Like Dr. K did a video on gooning after someone on his stream taught him what gooning was. And he did a deep dive into gooning. Man, what a world we live in. What a world. It was probably Swolepool. You know, maybe. Possibly. Where is Swolepool? He hasn't shown up in... Well, to be fair, I haven't been streaming in a while, so it's... yeah, it's probably... yeah. So statistically speaking, it's not actually that unusual that he hasn't shown up lately. Those damn tits will get you every time. I know, right, Snakes? I know. My YouTube shorts just know what I want, and it just turns into all tits. But then it turns into, like, one specific person. It's like, no, I don't want one specific person. If I wanted one specific person, I would have subscribed to them. No, I clicked because I saw tits. And my little primate brain was like, you know, those are tits. And you haven't had sex in like 2 years. You should click on those. Maybe tits will manifest in your life if you click on the tits on the computer screen. Turns out it doesn't work that way. Turns out clicking on the tits on the computer screen makes it less likely for tits to appear in real life. Maybe. Maybe it actually doesn't work. Maybe there is no maybe there is no causal relation between clicking on tits and tits appearing in real life. Maybe. 2 years. This is the longest dry spell I have been in since I lost my virginity. It's really bad. It's really bad. Ugh. But one day I will return. I will return to the birth giver. Or like not the thing that birthed me, that gave not that, but like the instrument through which all humans are birthed, which is the vagina. Just so we're clear, this is sex education now. So babies are born from the vagina, but how do they get into the vagina? A little process called ejaculation. See, when a man puts his penis inside the vagina and he moves it about a little bit, but sometimes a lot, it depends. Eventually, he will release his special stuff, and that stuff will make a baby if it mixes with the woman's special stuff. And that is how babies are made, so wear a condom. To be fair, you've been battling serious ongoing health issues for what feels like a good portion of that. Yeah, that is another thing. I have been I've been bedridden, but I haven't been in bed with anyone. Oh, fucking kill me. Oh, I thought babies see you from the gooning sock. Oh, come from the gooning sock. I see. Snake. It could happen, technically. I mean, think about it. You release your pent-up goon into the gooning sock and immediately give it to a woman. She could put that somewhere where the soaked essence, still immersed within the sock, could impregnate her. It could happen. I would not call it primary mechanism, though. I would call it secondary possible. Snake, what the fuck? Yep, not ridden in bed. Not ridden in bed. That's just my luck. Oh, it's been really bad though. The good thing is though, we're getting really close to, I think we've mostly figured out at least a lot of what the symptoms are. And now we're just trying to figure out, is this hypermobility related? Could this be MCAS? MCAS stands for Mast Cell Activation Syndrome, and apparently there are a lot of things that you have a higher percentage chance of having if you also have autism. And MCAS is one of them. So I got to get that investigated when I have more time and money. I don't. Is it diagnosed through a blood test or something? I don't know. Anyway, this honeysuck is almost done, and I'm gonna reload. I'm gonna reload this page, see if I get new tits. Did not get new tits. I actually got less tits than last loading. Very disappointed. I need to touch some real tits at some point so that my feed doesn't devolve into a gooner's paradise. We've been waiting all our lives, living in a gooner's paradise. Semen inside of your balls, yes, in a gooner's paradise. My God, I thought that was George Carlin for a second on Judge Judy. Turns out that's just a guy who looks like George Carlin. In the same room as someone who looks like Olivia Rodrigo. What is going on with these recommendations lately? It's really, really off-putting and disturbing. And, I completely forgot Rick Flag had a love interest in the very first Suicide Squad. It's been... the Enchantress just became so irrelevant. But then someone brought up the other day, oh, they're playing with fire. With something that happened on Peacemaker season 2 or something. I haven't watched either season. But I heard there's I know that they are doing this really confusing thing where they're retcon, they're establishing season 2 as being in the DCU, and they have flashbacks to season 1. But it's season 1 if it was in the DCU. And it's look, if you had the issue with that, at what point do you just get to a point where all of these retcons and continuity changes just become so confusing that you just have to you can't even weave those explanations in a subtle way. You kind of just have to start your movie or show with like, this is canon, this is not canon, this is what counts now, this is what doesn't count. Any questions? And then you do a live Q&A at the beginning of your first episode. Oh god. It's just a very confusing way to do things. Very confusing. I don't know, you gotta kill your darlings. I mean, look, if it was like, I think the main problem with it. Actually, no, it's not really the main problem, but I think something that makes it worse is the fact that, you know, you're not just trying to attract the genre savvy audience member, right? You're trying to attract general audience. And not every audience member is going to be on board with terms like canon and continuity and different like a lot of viewers just want to watch something and expect it to just connect to the other thing, and they don't really know all these lingo terms. So when they become necessary sort of like nomenclature to understand something, it kind of does make it a bit impenetrable. I mean, let us look no further than comic books, where that was a really big problem, where you couldn't quite keep track of what was canon, what wasn't, and it was a whole thing. I love comic books to death, but that's a problem. It is a legit problem. What is ball lightning? Oh, did they capture ball lightning on camera? Is that real? It could be AI, I guess. Ball lightning. That's one of those curiosities. It's like, what the fuck was that? Someone is outside, like mowing the lawn or something. Anyway, my honeysuck is almost done. Meme, have you ever played Lord of Ring Gollum? And if so, why is it your favorite video game? Look, I've yet to discover why Lord of Ring Gollum is my favorite video game, but I will discover it at some point, and it will be glorious. And I will probably die of shame. Pure shame. Yeah, we got a little bit of it recorded. In fact, I'm still technically recording right now. This is going to be a nightmare for me to edit. Oh, fuck. I should have stopped recording. Oh, well. It's okay. Yeah, that's a big thing Marvel does have over DC, is that it doesn't have as many confusing reboots. Like, it has done, like, you know, multiversal stuff. But, like, it's consistently been the same character going through all those multiversal events. Rather than, like, you know, Golden Age Superman is different from Silver Age Superman, who is also different from Post-Crisis Superman, and who is also different from New 52 Superman until New 52 Superman and Post-Crisis Superman became the same guy. Makes it a bit complicated to follow. Like a big nerd like me, I kind of revel in the confusion, or revel in like the absurdity of it all. But that's not necessarily. But I'm the first person to admit it's also not going to be the thing that's going to be the endearing yourself to casual fans, you know. But did you like James Gunn's Superman? I have very complicated feelings about James Gunn's Superman, as I think I went over last stream. I think the short version is, if you've got a criticism for it, I probably agree. The complicated part is just that I also think it's really valuable as a cultural moment, because we finally have a lot of people. Because the depressing thing is, right, we have this circumstance where a lot of people grew up where there were a lot of people who only knew Zack Snyder's Superman. They only knew Zack Snyder. So they thought Superman was meant to be dark, he's meant to be depressing, he's meant to be violent. He's meant to be like just this really morose and brooding character. So a lot of people are coming on board with this James Gunn one, and they're going like, wow, I didn't know Superman was meant to be like a nice guy and hopeful and stuff. And so I'm more than happy for James Gunn's Superman to be this gateway drug to much better Superman content. But I think I would have a very difficult time defending it as a film if I were to break it down. I've only watched it once, and I haven't. And my cognitive capabilities have not been too good. So, like, narrowing down all the plot hole stuff. There was one fucking thing in that film that really has lived in my fucking brain with, like, that lived in my brain really rent-free for, like, an obscene amount of time, and that was the black hole bit, because I was like, is it absurd that he's able to escape the black hole? But then I was thinking about black hole physics, and I was like, you can still see him, right? Because he's not past the event horizon. Because the black part of the black hole is the part that can't be escaped. If you're in front of the black part, you can still escape. Because gravity gets stronger the closer you get to an object. So my brain just went into physicist mode, and I was like, is it as absurd as I thought it was that he could escape the black hole when, like, if he's not in the black part of the black hole, like, it should still be escapable? And then I was like, you know what? I'm not a physicist. I'm going to put my hands up, playing my song, Butterflies Fly Away, and just go like, I'm not a physicist. I'm going to just say that there's places to investigate there. And that was... Don't discount Superman Returns as playing into the dark, brooding vision. Only 7 years between it. Yeah, like, I think that it could have definitely contributed. I'm just mainly going by, like, what I've heard people say, more specifically. Lex Luthor doesn't use Ultraman, who is a clone of Superman, as epithesis means to frame Superman. And for some reason, no one... Yeah, like, that's a bit of a whoops. That's a bit of a whoopsie daisy. I wonder if it's like the intelligence of the Ultraman clone that makes that plan a little bit more... You know what I mean? Where, the clone is so unintelligent that it would make it... it would mean that certain means of framing him would be more complicated than others. But then again, all you gotta do is record video, right? I don't know. If I start pulling on the threads... Because I'm always like... Whenever I'm criticizing something, I'm never, like, trying to find the flaw. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. And that can sometimes mean finding the flaw. But if I find the flaw, I also have to think about, is there something that could explain the flaw? And much in the same way, if something is good, I need to see if it actually holds up to scrutiny. It's kind of a big back and forth. And I would be here for hours, and I need to record this video. Okay. My honeysucker's almost done. Yeah, I was thinking about the Black Noir twist and how that could have been done in the Superman film. I don't know, man. I feel like I would have just gone all the way and made him Bizarro. And maybe he is still going to become Bizarro in the future, because I feel like that pocket dimension was basically a proto Bizarro world, because it had all the cubes in it, and it's like, and instead of orbiting a sun, it's a black hole. Like, I feel like that was a proto Bizarro world. So maybe they're still gonna do that, but I don't know. Maybe I would have gone like just full Bizarro, because Bizarro is such a fun character, but that they haven't really... Have they done... Like, I know that Superman and Lois did Bizarro, but I saw some clips and they didn't, like, do the like the speech patterns and everything. But it's like, yeah, it's I really wish... I hope they do... I really, really want to see... Even if it's in a bad movie, I want to see, like, just a really well-realized Bizarro at some point. Because he's a lot of fun, and he's also kind of tragic, in a way. His lack of... His gullibility is kind of... makes him kind of a tragic character. Look, I don't even know how to judge the fucking box office, because I feel like there are so many people who want to spin the box office in so many different ways, and it's kind of doing my head in. I can believe it didn't do that well overseas for whatever reason. The theater I went to was not too full, but it seemed to do pretty well domestically, and it seems like it was not necessarily a film designed to make a whole lot of money, but more just like a film that was designed to revitalize and rehabilitate the DC brand, which it hasn't rehabilitated it in the eyes of people who judge films based on, internal consistency and writing standard, but in terms of like general audience appeal, I think it's definitely earned back a few brownie points. But then he got turned into Doomsday. Oh, did Superman and Lois speak backwards, though? I only saw like one clip where I think it's because he referred to himself as I. He didn't go me and Bizarro. But maybe I saw like one clip out of context. And yeah, I will reserve judgment. Anyway, which part was I up to? Oh yeah, here we go. The standing desk rises again, chat. The standing desk rises again, like the Dark Knight rises. That film that I saw in IMAX back in the day. There we go. Clearly cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side. Clearly cloning Cretaceous carnivores was more of a closeted curiosity on the side compared to the full extent of his creative capabilities. He even magicked the dust off Alan Grant's forehead in between shots. That was nice of him. I saw it 3 times in the theater as well. Let's see. He even magicked the dust off Alan Grant's forehead in between shots. That was nice of him. He even magicked his forehead. Even magicked the dust off Alan Grant's forehead in between shots. That was nice of him. Oh, I have to rewrite this part because I put... wait a minute. He even... And with a single twinkle of his beard, he commanded the clouds themselves. He commanded the very clouds themselves away from the island. Away from his island. And with a single twinkle. And with a single twinkle of his beard, he commanded the very clouds themselves away from his island to allow his guests to appreciate the full majesty of his creation by bathing them in God's light. His light, Hammond's light. Hammond is the clouds. Hammond is the sun. Hammond is the clouds. Hammond is the sun. Going a little bit Tim Curry there. Hammond was playing God, you say, Malcolm? Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Rockstar Mathematician, who inexplicably has very detailed knowledge of genetics and biology. Let me ask you, how can you play yourself? See, that delivery was so good, I don't think I need to re-record it. But I am still recording, right? Good. This stream will be my backup recording. Jesus Christ. Okay. After all, Hammond clearly claims the insect in his cane is a mosquito when it is clearly a crane fly. But are you going to tell God that he's wrong? No, he's the one who decides. So clearly that's a mosquito. Because God said so. Are half the dinosaurs on these labels misspelled? Or did Hammond say this is how they were always spelled? And that's probably how he's always... And his godliness is probably how he's always present for every hatching of every dinosaur, despite the hatchings taking place across 2 islands, because God Hammond is everywhere and everything. And now I must get up the backing track for this song. Lisa Chug. Was it this one or this one? No, this is the crap one. I want the good one. I want the good one. Oh, here we go. Here's the 10-hour version. There we go. Can you hear that, chat? Can you hear the amazing backing track? I want to know that you can hear the amazing backing track to this song I'm about to sing. It's very important to me. I can wait. Don't you worry, I can wait, chat. I'm not actually gonna wait, but you know. Be nice to get confirmation for this live performance. You know what? I don't need to get you to confirm. I can just go onto my own stream and confirm. I can go on to my what are we what are we doing? Okay, let me just oh fuck, let me just find them. By bathing them in God's, I must. Okay, so it is. Okay, so you can hear it. Good. What are we doing? You'll see. You'll see, Oobly. You'll see. Hammond is the rocks, Hammond is the trees, Hammond is the wood inside of me, Hammond is the car, Hammond is the boat, Hammond is the goat, T-Rex deep throats. God Hammond, where did you go? God Hammond, please touch my balls. Hammond is the sky, Hammond is the land, Hammond is the hand that touches the raptor's tail and counterbalances the wait, that's not Hammond. Now I will do a clean version of that, just in case, because I sung it a little bit differently without the backing track. The backing track overwhelmed me a little bit. So I'll hopefully. Hammond is the sky, Hammond is the trees, Hammond is the balls inside of me. No, I'm going to do it without the backing track. That sounds like somebody blowing across a butthole. You can't fool me. That is Lisa Simpson blowing on a jug while Homer Simpson stomps, I'll have you know. For 10 hours. For 10 hours. Do I need to get out my nebulizer in order to... Because I feel like my voice is not in singing mode. Hammond is the rock, Hammond is the tree, Hammond is the wood inside of me, Hammond is the car, Hammond is the boat, Hammond is the goat, T-Rex deep throats. God Hammond, where did you go? God Hammond, please touch my balls. Hammond is the sky, Hammond is the land, Hammond is the hand that touches the raptor's tail to counterbalance the... Wait, that's not Hammond. I'm gonna do it without my headphones. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. Hammond is the rock, Hammond is the tree, Hammond is the wood inside of me, Hammond is the car, Hammond is the boat, Hammond is the goat, T-Rex deep throats. God Hammond, where did you go? God Hammond, please touch my balls. Hammond is the sky, Hammond is the land, Hammond is the hand that touches the raptor's tail and counterbalances the... Wait, that's not Hammond. Who the hell is trying to get some tail there? God damn. Who the hell is that trying to get some tail there? God damn. I don't know who this raptor tail toucher was, but he might be related to those mysterious appendages there copping a feel. Yeah, look at that wide. Look at that scene. Those ain't no hands of no Jurassic Park worker. So who is he or she? Nobody knows. Personally, though, I think it was the man Dennis was talking to in this scene on the computer screen. This man is clearly a disciple of the great Hammond, as with his obvious as with his as his as he obviously oh that's where that is. Let's try this again. You know, I might need a break for lunch because I'm feeling a little woozy. Might be why, and I don't want this delivery to be compromised by a lack of calories. Not at all. Wait, no, that's not Hammond. Who the hell is that trying to get some tail? God damn. I don't know who this raptor tail toucher was, but he might be related to those these mysterious appendages copping a feel. Yeah, look at that wide. Look at the scene. Those ain't no hands of no Jurassic Park worker. So who was he? Or she? Nobody knows. Ooh. Personally, though, I think it was this man. Personally, though, I think it was the man that Dennis was talking to in this scene on the computer screen. This man is clearly a disciple of the great Hammond with his obvious and apparent precognitive abilities, which means he can see the future. How else can you explain Dennis having a full-on conversation with a motherfucking video file? How else can you explain Dennis having a full-on conversation with a motherfucking video file? And yes, that does mean Jurassic Park did blink 14 years before Doctor Who did. And yes, that does mean Jurassic Park did blink 14 years before Doctor Who did. And let's talk about why Jurassic Park went wrong in the first place. Was it due to human arrogance and corporate greed? Kind of, yes, but not in the way you think. Not in the way you think. You see, I don't believe the park needed fences. And that was the fatal flaw. Actually, I'm going to rewrite that line. See these fences? The ones that are meant to contain the dangerous and deadly meat-eating, they're not monsters, they're just animals. Meat-eating giants? Meat-gobbling giants? Flesh-gobbling giants? There we go. Flesh-filleting? No, I need, what's like, word for meat that starts with G? Word gist? Guts. Guts, that's a good one. Guts and gizzards, yes. Guts. The ones that are meant to contain the gargantuan, gargantuan. Okay, spell check. Help me. Here we go. Gargantuan, gut gobbling Goliaths. There we go. The gargantuan gut gobbling Goliaths. There we go. That are meant to contain. Yeah, I don't think we need. I don't think you needed them. I don't think we needed them. I believe that installing the fences was the fatal flaw that brought the entire park down. That brought the entire park to its knees. Kind of like how I go down on my knees to save this channel. Wink. Wink. See these fences? The ones that are meant to contain the gargantuan gut-gobbling Goliath? To contain the dangerous? These dangerous... that are meant to contain these gargantuan... these grisly gargantuan... the ones that are meant to contain these grisly gargantuan gut-gobbling Goliaths? Yeah, I don't think we need them. I'm just going to say we didn't need the fences. We didn't need them. I believe that installing the fences was the fatal flaw that brought the entire park to its knees. Kind of like how I go down on my knees to save this channel. Wink. Wink. You see, it's apparent throughout the film that the fences are incomplete. Was this a fuck up on the... You see, if you look closely... You see, if you look closely throughout the film, it's apparent... See, if you look closely throughout the film, it's apparent that the fences are incomplete. They just kind of stop where they shouldn't stop. There we go. You see, if you look closely throughout the film, it's apparent that the fences are incomplete. They just kind of stop where they shouldn't just kind of stop. Was this a fuck up on the production side? Hell no, son. If you read in between the lines the same way I'm gazing between the fences, you will clearly see that the fences were a compromise. You will clearly see that the fences were a compromise. For God only had one weakness: lawyers. For God only had one weakness: lawyers. And it was these lawyers that found him. No, and it was these lawyers that forced him to erect these fences where the sheer spark of his divine will would have otherwise kept these animals and humans both apart and at bay. Why else would these three choose to climb this incredibly dangerous fence instead of walking around it? The fence was a weaker obstacle than the unclimbable air blessed by his spiritual spunk. The fence was a weaker obstacle than the unclimbable air blessed by his spiritual spunk. And had the entire park been operated by magic and not evil lawyer science, things would have been very different. And had the entire park been operated by magic and not evil lawyer science, things would have been very different. This was also why Rexy ate Gennaro and no one else. Rexy is not a malicious creature. She is blessed. She is bred with the spark of the divine, and that divine spark instilled her with a genetic hatred of lawyers. That's also why it hates Malcolm. She hates Malcolm, misgendering the T-Rex again. Fuck. That's also why she hates Malcolm, because he was brought by the lawyer. You think that T-Rex's sight is based on movement? Fuck off with that pussy shit. It clearly sniffed that Grant and Child were here. It clearly sniffed that Grant and Child were here. No, fuck. It clearly sniffed that Grant and Child were not lawyers and left them the fuck alone. It clearly sniffed that Grant and Child here were not fucking lawyers and left them the fuck alone. It clearly sniffed that Grant and Child were not lawyers and left them the fuck alone. But Meme, didn't she try to eat the kid's car? I think you mean leper vehicle. Leper being the ancient Mayan word for lawyer. Rexy was only tearing up the car to search for the lawyer. But as soon as she locked onto the distinctive odor of a lawyer marking his territory, she quickly diverted and locked onto her natural enemy. Rexy was only tearing up the car to search for the lawyer, but as soon as she locked onto the distinctive odor of a lawyer marking his territory, she quickly diverted and locked onto her natural enemy. And what are velociraptors but nature's lawyers? And what are velociraptors but nature's lawyers? Exactly. 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 Back on the fences, though, let's look at little Timmy here. He who survived 10,000 volts through his body. Timmy, the human piece of toast. Timmy, the human piece of toast. Only the spark of the divine passed down through his grandfather could explain Timmy's survival. Though at least we know. And through this spark and the spark of being shocked to... And through this spark and the spark of being... And through this spark and the spark of 10,000 fucking volts through the body. Volts through human flesh. There we go. Okay. Only the spark of the divine passed down through his grandfather could explain Timmy's survival. And through this spark and the spark of 10,000 fucking volts through human flesh, we now know how the raptors tracked them down because barbecue demigod gotta smell real good. Yeehaw! Although I think I read somewhere that you need to be touching the ground for the fence to shock you like that because of some science bullshit. I don't know. We're talking about God here. God Hammond. Leave your evil lawyer science over there. We're talking about the divine. Hammond. Hammond is God. Hammond is a god with 5 islands. How else can you explain the glass in this vehicle inexplicably creaking and spiderwebbing when glass does not in fact do that? It either holds your weight or it doesn't. You want to know what does do that, though? Ice. Ice, ice, baby. Insert your own politically relevant joke here. There are many to choose from. Or maybe instead of throwing shit at each other, we can bathe under his brilliance, his light, and embrace the fact that the only explanation that could possibly exist for this fact is the fact that, in fact, it is no coincidence that the glass behaves this way on his island, for all glass on his island are, in fact, hot ice. And that's a fact. 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 Because he said so, so it was so. It takes the strength of 3 people to escape the spinny ride chair, yet the mighty Hammond freed himself with only a single flick of his mighty appendage. Is it because of an automated mechanism built into the ride? Fuck no, son! It's because he's God. He has the strength of an infinity man. And because he is God, he has the strength of an infinity man. I mean, of course he's God. He's literally an old man. I mean, of course he's God. He's literally an old man in white. I mean, of course he's God. He's literally an old man in white. Look at him. He's basically Santa Claus. I mean, look at him. He's basically Santa Claus. He's like the embodiment of positive masculinity in corporeal form, which of course means he's gay. Because what is manlier than fucking another man in the arse? I have to wake up in the morning. I have to wake up in 4 hours, so I must sleep. Love you, me. If I had tits, I'd let you mess with them. K-Night. Thanks, snakes. Because what is manlier than fucking another man in the arse? But what about his grandchildren? Are they adopted? Well, of course not. For as we have established, Timmy, the human piece of toast, has the spark of the divine, so his father or mother must have been divine themselves. God Hammond, therefore, clearly divinely inserted a uterus into another man's arse so he could impregnate his male partner, enabling him to give birth through his anus and conceive the child, and conceive the father and or mother of the children we see in the film. This is still the Jurassic Park video. Enabling him to give birth through his anus and conceive the father and or mother of the children we see in the film. What a time to stop and read. The tits might not be. Don't believe me? Look at the dinosaurs. You have a park full of female dinosaurs. All the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are female. Therefore, what do you have? A park full of lesbian dinosaurs. But not only that, the spark of the divine. You've heard of God's loophole, right? Fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. Well, the great Hammond put his own loophole into his own creations. Well, the great Hammond put his own loophole into his creations too, that they may reproduce, allowing them to become male if they need be male, and therefore you have a park full of lesbian, transgender dinosaurs. Is there a more progressive establishment than Jurassic Park? I think not. I think not. I think not. It is, of course, run by God, and only God could create a divinely. It is, of course, run by God, and only God could create such a divinely progressive establishment, procuring such things as transgender lesbian dinosaurs. I rest my case. But I see some of you are not yet convinced, so I must turn to the top, most overriding source of Jurassic Park canon, above even the films themselves. I am, of course, talking about the intro to Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Which, fun fact, John Hammond in that game was voiced by Charles Bud Tingwell. However, that doesn't mean that Richard Attenborough never voiced John Hammond in any Jurassic Park game, as he lent his voice to the game Trespasser, a game you would never know was a Jurassic Park game based only on the box art and title alone. And I wish that was the game, and I wish that was that game's only problem. And I wish that was the game's only problem. And I wish that was that game's only problem. And I wish that was that game's only problem. We should play Trespasser on stream someday, chat. We should play Trespasser. It's so bad. I love Trespasser. It's so bad. See? Anyway, what was I saying? Wait, what was I going to show you? Oh, right! Operation Genesis. Plays the divine parts of the intro. It's going to be very exciting. See? See? And look at the name. Operation Genesis, as in the Bible. A developer wouldn't dare lie to us through their title, right? Right? I rest my case. Hammond is God, and what God says goes. Raptors don't have feathers. God said so. Dilophosaurs did not have a frill, and Dilophosaurs did too have a frill and spit venom because God said so. Who are you to say the Brachiosaurus could not chew? Because God said so, therefore they could. Oh, God, I wish I could win every argument like this. Oh, God, I wish I could win every argument like this. All Jurassic Park films are now good, or Jurassic Park, or all the Jurassic Park sequels are bad because Hammond made it so, or this line is funny now. God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, God creates man, man creates dinosaurs. It was all God, Malcolm. It was all God, Alan. I don't remember who said the line. Full name, Godosaurus Hammondus the Third. I mean, maybe that T-Rex paddock thing wasn't actually an error, but did you want this video to be funny or not, Lewis? I mean, maybe that T-Rex paddock thing wasn't. Maybe that T-Rex paddock thing wasn't actually an error. Maybe, but did you want this video to be funny or not, Lewis? Jesus. Oh, and YouTube, please don't demonetize my channel now, because God said so. Bitch. 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 Bitch, 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 bitchy, bitch, 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 bittich, bittich, bitch. Doesn't quite sound right on the tongue, does it? Bitch. You know what does sound right on the tongue, though? Hammond is the ham, Hammond is the cheese, Hammond is the cream inside my jeans, Hammond is the bone, Hammond is the phone, Hammond's every one of my kidney stones. God Hammond, Where did you go? God Hammond, God Hammond, God Hammond, please touch my balls. God Hammond, Hammond's got a Glock, he's aiming for my bang. Hammond's got a Glock, he's aiming for my cock. Hammond's got a Glock, he's aiming for my cock. Hammond's got a Glock, he's aiming for my cock. Hammond's got a Glock, he's aiming for my cock. Joke's on you. I haven't felt anything down there since the propranolol. Lol, 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 lol. Oh, I'm in immense pain. Oh, I'm bleeding profusely. And now something for the parents of the audience. And now something for the parents of the audience. I'd love to watch, but it's 11 p.m. Such is the curse of time zones. Be well, meme. Have you played American McGee's Alice or the sequel Madness Returns? Beautiful singing. Thank you, Moose. And I need to play those games. I've heard decent things about them. So maybe we'll do that on stream somewhat. Who knows? Okay, so that's at least the first take. So that's at least the base for the narration done. Oh boy. So when I got Judy Gardner to read the script earlier, it came up at about 13 minutes. So plus clips, it'll probably be about 15 minutes. But yeah, that was unhinged. I might need to re-record some parts, but at the very least, I've got like all the parts out of the way, or at least I've got them at least I've got a base to work with now. And yeah. I think that's everything for this stream. Hopefully, I think I might do a stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. I need to do some more streams to pump up those numbers. But yeah, it's really hard to predict because I get these crashes. They kind of come on a delay where like I feel fine after doing something, and then like the crash happens the next day or something. It's just or like 2 days later, and I don't even. Let me tell you, when you have a crash like 2 days after the initial event, it makes it really hard to do cause and effect in terms of like what actually caused it. But yeah, it's been fun, everyone. I love you all. Love you, Oobly. Love you, Snakes. Love you, Matt. Love you, Moose. Love you, Grith. Love all the people who were in chat earlier, like Desmond and Sir Cunningham. Love all of my babies. Love you, Bilbo. Love you so much. I'm gonna suck you off, Bilbo. It's gonna make you good. Hope the event wasn't driving. I hope the event wasn't driving. Yeah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Got in so late, so I will probably go back through this later. Yeah, you go back through. Mwah, mwah, kisses. Mwah, mwah. God Hammond loves you. Mwah. I might even do another recording stream at some point. If I feel like the vocal quality went down later on. But we'll see if I can cobble together something usable first, and then we'll see if I need to do any retakes. But until then, mwah, mwah, I'm going to touch you all on your little scrotums and clitorises and all that. All of you are so lovely, and bye-bye. I'm gonna suck your dick.